Hello everyone, welcome back. It's pleasure having you back to the quadratic equation maths class. We've completed the first part, which is when the coefficient of x squared is 1, when our a is 1. I've explained to you how to solve such factorization question, and I've walked you through different examples. Now, what we are doing right away, or what this class is going to be all about, is this time around the ax squared plus bx plus c. When this a is greater than 1, in part 1 of this class, we focus on when is 1, right? But now when a is greater than 1, how do we solve the question? Before I proceed, just a little recap. In part 1, I said if we are given equation like this, x squared plus bx plus c. For us to be able to factorize, we need to get two values that will replace this b, such that when the two values are added, it's going to give us the value of b. And when multiplied, it's going to give us the value of c. Do you still remember? So that's what the first class is all about. In case you've missed the first class, I will advise that you go to our platform on YouTube, Mobile Class Academy. Then you will see the first part there. So you can go through the first part before coming for this second part. Like we do say, get for yourself a pen and jotter and look for a quiet place to sit and join the class. So we are starting off from where we stopped the last time, which is when the value of a is greater than 1. How do we solve that problem, or how do we resolve it? Example 1, factorize. What are we to factorize? 11x squared plus 9x minus 2. So this is what we are asked to factorize. How do we resolve this problem if we are given this to factorize? This is quite different from the first one, because the value here is what is greater than 1. So to solve this problem, solution: when we have our 11x squared plus 9x minus 2. To get the value, in factorization, the whole essence of factorization is to get two values that will replace our b. Here, our b is what? Our b is 9 plus 9. Our a is 11. Our c is what? Minus 2. So what do we do? Anytime we have our a to be greater than 1, we do a multiply this value. A multiply c, our ac, we do ac. And when we do ac, what do we have? We have negative 22. 11 times 2 will give us negative 22. When we have negative 22, what do we do next? We now look for two values that when added will give us plus 9. Remember, we need two values that when added will give us plus 9, which is the value of our b, which is our b, right? And when multiply, we give us ac, this ac, not c again. In the previous example, when the value of a equals 1, we look for two values that when multiply will give us our what? Our c. But now, when the value of a is greater than 1, we look for two values that when added will give us our b, the value of our b, and when multiply will give us the value of our ac. Now we need to look for two values that will give us plus 9 when added and give us minus 22 when what? When multiplied. Minus 22 when multiplied. Let's clear the board a little. In our earlier explanation, I said when we are looking for the two values, we turn to c. Right? We divide our c. We divide our c to get the value. But when the value of our a is greater than 1, what we divide is our what? AC. Is our AC. Now, what is our AC? Our AC is what? Minus 22. Good. Now, let's divide this minus 22 to get two values that when added will give us plus 9. What are the products of 22, or what can go in 22? 2 can go in 22. Let's forget about the sign in front for now. 2 can go in 22. If 2 goes in 22, what are we left with? 11. What else can go in 11? 11 can go in 11 and it will be 1. Is that understood? Now let's look at 2 times 11. 2 times 11, what will that give us? 22. 2 plus 11, what will that give us? 13, right? But I'm not looking for 13, I'm looking for plus 9. So what should I do to 2 and 11 to give me plus 9? What should I do? I'm going to introduce minus. Minus 2 plus 11. What will that give me? It's going to give me plus 9. Are you with me? It's going to give me plus 9. So this is what I'm looking for. So minus 2 plus 11 will give me what? Plus 9. What I will now do is I will use minus 2 and plus 11 to replace this plus 9. Are we together? So let's clear the board and continue with our workings. From here now, I have what? I have negative 2 and positive 11 to give me what? Positive 9. So this value, minus 2 and 11, will be used to replace plus 9. Are we together? So now let me rewrite my equation. I have 11x minus 2x minus 2. Are you with me? We get this plus 11x minus 2x from when we divide our AC. You remember that? Yes. So now at this point, what do? We just group. So from here now, what is a common value? What is a common value? Common between 11x squared plus 11. 11x, right? 11x. If we take out 11x from here, what do we have left? We have just x. 11x multiplied by x will give me what? So I have 1 left here. So 11x times 1 will give me 11x. Now, what is common here? Minus 2x minus 2. What do we have there? We have minus 2. We have what? Minus 2. So if I take out minus 2, what do I have left here? X, right? Minus 2 times x will give me minus 2x. Minus 2 multiplied by x will give me minus 2x. Now, if I take out minus 2, what do I have here? I just have plus 1. Because minus 2 times plus 1 will give me minus 2. Minus 2 here times plus 1 will give me minus 2. When you look at the board, at this point, everything outside the bracket will bring them together. We have 11x minus 2, right? We group them together. Then we have the same value in the first bracket and the same value in the second bracket. So we just pick one, x plus 1. Now, when we look at our question, the question above, when we factorize this is what we are going to arrive at. This is what we are going to arrive at, this one. So we can check if what we've gotten is right or we need to do some corrections. You understand? Now let's check. How do we check? Check. We have 11x minus 2 in brackets, x plus 1 in bracket. What should we do here? We expand. We expand this bracket. So we have 11x times this is going to give me 11x squared, right? Plus 1 is going to give me plus 11x, right? Minus 2 times x is going to give me minus 2x, right? Minus 2 times plus 1 is going to give me minus 2. So I have 11x squared plus 11x minus 2x is going to give me plus 9x minus 2. So when we check this and the question, this is the question we factorize. When we check what we have here and what we have here, we can see that 11x squared plus 9 minus 2 minus 2. So this shows we got it right. Now let's look at another example. Example 2. This time around we have everything to be plus. You know, in this example we have plus and minus. But in this example 2, let's see how do we solve when we have everything to be positive. So what is our example 2? Our example 2 is factorize 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. How do we do this? Remember, our a is what? Is greater than 1. So what will be our solution? Solution, let's write our question again. 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. Remember, in factorization, all we want to do is to replace this b with two different values, right? Such that when the value added, we get the value of b. Now, how do we get those two values? Let us multiply our a with our c. We have AC. So what is our AC? 10, right? So what are the two values that when added will give me plus 11? When multiplied will give me 10. When added will give me what? The value of my B. When multiplied will give me the value of my AC. So what are the two values? I said whenever we are looking for those two values, we turn to what? Our AC. We turn to our AC when the value of our A is greater than 1. But when the value of our A is equal to 1, we turn to our what? Our C. Are you with me? Now, the value of our A is greater than 1. So we turn to our AC. What is our AC? Our AC is what? Is 10. Now, let's divide our 10. What can goes in 10? 2 can go 5. 5 goes in 5. 1. 1 goes in 1. I'm not looking for 3 values. I'm only looking for 2. So I will do 2 times 5 times 1. 2 times 5 is what? 10. Times 1 is what? 10, right? 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 1 is 10. Now, 10 plus 1 is what? It's 11. Let me check my B. What is the value of my B? The value of my B is what? Is 11. The value of my AC is what? Is 10. What I'm going to use to replace my B is what? 10 plus 1. 10 plus 1. So let's clear the board and let's continue with our working. The two values we have are 10 and 1. So let's come to our equation and impute them into this equation. We have 2x squared plus 10x plus x plus 5. Are you with me? Plus 5. So at this point, what do? We group all this equation into 2. Now we ask ourselves what is common between 2x squared and plus 10. What is common is what? 2x. If we take out 2x from here, we are left with x. 2x times x will give us 2x squared, right? 10x divided by 2x. X cancel x. 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 5. What am I left with? 5. So 2x times 5 will give me 10x, right? Now in this bracket, what is common? What is a common factor? The common factor is 1 plus 1. So if I do x plus 1 times x is going to give me plus x, right? If I do plus 1 times plus 5, it's still going to give me plus 5. Now, let's check. The values we have here and the values we have here, are they the same? If this value are the same, then it shows we're on the right track. It shows what? We are on the right track. Now, everything outside the bracket, to bring them together, we have 2x plus 1 in bracket. Then we pick 1 from x plus 5. We have x plus 5. So this is the solution of our factorization. This is our factorization we have up here. This one. The solution is what? 2x plus 1, x plus 5. So this is the answer to this question. Are you with me? But we can check if we want to check. All we need is 2x times x, which will give us 2x squared. Let's quickly do that. Let's check. 2x plus 1, x plus 5. Open the brackets. 2x times x, we have 2x squared. 2x times plus 5 will give me plus 10x. Plus 1 times x will give me plus x. Plus 1 times plus 5 will give me what? Plus 5. So what do I have? 2x squared plus 10x plus x will what? We produce 11x plus 5. When you look at what we have here and our question, you see is the same, right? So that means we're on the right track. We got it right. Now let's look at example 3. Example 3 states that Factorize 6x squared minus 18x, then what? Plus 12. The question says factorize 6x squared minus 18x plus 12. So what do we do? Solution. We cannot factorize straight away, so we have to do our AC. So let's write out the question first. 6x squared minus 18x plus 12. So we need to do our AC, which is this. And when we do our AC, what is our AC? AC will give us what? 72. Remember, in factorization, we are looking for two values to replace this. This is our B, right? This is our C, and this is our A. So we are looking for two values. I want to get a value for my B. So what will I do to get value for my B? Now I have 72 and I have minus 18. 72 is my AC, minus 18 is my what? Is my B. So I'm looking for two values that when added will give me this. When added will give me minus 18. When multiplied will give me 72. And guess what? We use 6 and 12 to get 72. When we had 6 and 12, we are going to get what? 18. So let me just substitute the value here. So what will I do to 6 and 12 to get minus 18? I'm going to do minus 6 and minus 12. Is that clear? Minus 6 minus 12 will give me what? Minus 18. So that's another way to do that. So I have my minus 6 and minus 12. So let me just substitute it into the equation. Let me clear the board. I've gotten my value for B, which are what? Minus 6 and minus 12. Now let's go and substitute it here. We have 6x squared minus 12x minus 6x plus 12. At this point, what do? We group. So what is a common factor here? The common factor here is what? 6x. So if we take out 6x from here, we are left with x. Take out 6x from here, we are left with what? Minus 2. Minus 2 times 6x will give minus 12x. So that's fine. So what do we have in common here? What we have common here is minus 6. If we take out minus 6, we have x. If we divide 12 by minus 6, goes there 1, goes there 2. Because of this minus, we have minus 2 left, right? So we have minus 2. Now, minus 6 times x will give minus 6x. Minus 6 times minus 2 will give plus 12. So what we have here is equal to what we have here. That shows we're on the right track, right? Now, everything outside the bracket will bring them together. You have 6x minus 6. Then we just pick one, right? We pick 1. So if we pick 1, we have x minus what? Minus 2. So this is the answer to our factorization. But we can still go further and do what's common here. We can say 6 bracket x minus 1, x minus 2. So we can do it this way, or we can do it this way. If we check our factorization method, what we have here should give us what we have here. If we check, now let's check. 6 multiplied by x minus 1, x minus 2. Let's open the bracket. X times x, s squared, keep our 6 outside. X times minus 2 will give us minus 2x, right? Minus 1 times x will give us minus x. Minus 1 times minus 2 will give us what? Plus 2, right? Now, we have x squared minus 3x plus 2, right? Let's multiply everything by 6 and see. 6 times x squared, we have 6x squared minus 3x times 6 is going to give us minus 18x. Plus 2 times 6 will give us what? plus 12. So is it the same thing as what we have here? So this shows our factorization is correct. By expanding this equation, we arrive at this, and when we check, if we check what we have here and the question we are given, we see that everything is what is the same. Therefore, our factorization is correct. Now let's quickly look at another example. Example 4. Example 4 states that factorize 32 plus 4x minus 6x squared. This 6 is our A, this plus 4 is our B, and this 32 is our C. Are we clear with that? So, solution. We have 32 plus 4x minus 6x squared. What do? We multiply A with what? A with C. So, if we do 32 times 6, what would that give us? Let's use our calculator. 32 times 6. So we have 192. This is our AC, right? This is our AC. But our B is plus 4. We need to look for two numbers that when we add them, the two numbers, when we add them, is going to give us what? Plus 4, right? When we multiply them, it's going to give us what? If we multiply the two numbers, it's going to give us 192. It's going to give us what? 192. But we don't know the two numbers. We don't know the two numbers, right? That will give us plus 4 and negative 192. Negative. You remember this is minus 6 times 32. So the two numbers here, when multiplied, will give us negative 192. So we don't know what the two numbers are, but we know that we can divide 192 to get those two numbers, right? Now let's clear the board and divide 192 divided by what? This number is high, is close to 200. So we cannot start with 2. Otherwise, we have so much numbers that we need to multiply. Let's try number above 10. Numbers above 10. Can 10 go here without a remainder? 10 can go. Can 11 go here without a remainder? 11. Can 11 go here? 11 goes here. What are we left with? 8. 82. Can 11 goes in 82? I'm not sure. Let's do 12. 12 goes here. 1. What are we left with? 7. In 72, let's check our calculator. 72 divided by what? 12. So we have 6. So this is 6. We are looking at two numbers. So 12 times 16 will give me what? 192, right? Good. If we had 12 plus 16, what will it give me? It's going to give me 28, right? But what can I do to 12 and 16 to give me what? 4. Let me do minus 12 plus 16. If I do that, what will it give me? 4. It will give me plus 4. Then I have plus 4 here. So these two values, minus 12 plus 16, can be used to replace my B. So my B will become what? Minus 12 and 16. Minus 12 and 16. So let's clear the board. Now, I have my values to be what? Minus 12 and plus 16, right? So let's substitute the value here that I've gotten into this equation. So I'm going to have 32 plus 16x minus 12x minus 6x squared. So at this point, what do? I group, right? So what is common in this first bracket? What is common is what? Is 16. If I divide here by 16, what do I have? 16 goes here 1, 16 goes here 2. So I have 2. If I divide here by 16, 16 goes here 1, 16 goes here 1. So 1 times x, I'm left with what? Plus x. That's good. So what is common here? What is common here is what? X is here, x is here. 6 is here. So what is common here is minus 6x, right? So if I have minus 12x over minus 6x, this x we cancel, this minus we cancel out, this minus, 6 goes here 1, 6 goes here what? 2. So I'm left with what? 2. Now, if I take out minus 6x from minus 6x squared, what am I left with? Let's quickly do that. 6x squared minus 6x. This x, we take away 1x from this x squared, so it is left with x. Minus 6x minus 6x will go. So what I'm left with is what? Is just x. Is that understood? So here I'm left with plus x. Now minus 6x times 2 will give me minus 12x. Minus 6x times plus x will give me minus 6x squared. So that's how we arrive at this. So when we check what we have here and what we have here is the same, right? So what do we do from here? We bring everything outside the brackets together. We have 16 minus 6x. Then we have plus 2x plus 2x. We just do plus 2x. So the factorization of this question up here is this. This bracket, we can, factorize it a little. What can go in 16 and go in 6? We can say 2, which will give us 8 minus 3x in bracket 2 plus x. We can leave our answer this way, and we can leave our answer this way. If we expand this, it's going to give us what is here. If we expand this, is going to give us what is here. So let's check. We have x minus 3x in brackets 2 outside and 2 plus x. Let's expand this first. 8 times 2, that's 16, right? 8 times x, that's plus x, right? Minus 3x times 2 is going to give me minus 6x. Minus 3x times this times x is going to give me minus 3x squared. Remember, we have 2 outside. We have 2 outside. So let's multiply everything by 2. We have 2 times 16 is going to give me what? 32. Remember, plus 8x and minus 6x will give me what? Plus 2, right? This plus 2 times 2 is going to give me 4x, right? 2 times minus 3x squared will give me minus 6x squared. So let's check. What's our question? 32 plus 4x minus 6x squared. The same thing, 32 plus 4x minus 6x squared. So our solution is correct. Let's take one more example and we call it a day. Factorize 6x squared plus 13xy plus 5y squared. Solution. When you look at the value of what we have here, we see that it's a bit disturbing because we have 6x squared, 5y squared, 13xy. So what do we do? What do we do? Is this a quadratic equation? Is this a quadratic equation? I'm sure that's the first thing that will be going on in your mind. That is this quadratic equation? Yes, I will say yes, yes, and yes. So when you have this kind of question, it's just to broaden your thinking. It's just to broaden your thinking. So what do we do? The same way we've been doing our thing. Let's call here C. You understand our C? Let's call here our B. Let's call here our A. Let's call here ABC. So what do we do? Because the value of our x is greater than 1, we are going to do what? AC. If we do AC, what do we have? Our AC equals to what? 30. So if our AC is 30, then we need to look for 2 values from this AC that when added will give us 13. When added will give us what? Plus 13. Now, solution. 6x squared plus 13xy plus 5y squared. What are we going to do? We've gotten our AC to equals to what? 30. So what are the values that when added will give us this b? Let's go to our AC 30, right? 30. What can goes in 30? Let's do 10. 3. 3 times 10 will give us what? 30, right? 3 plus 10 will give us what? 13. 13. We've gotten values to replace our 13, which is 3 and 10, right? Don't worry. I'm sure you'll be a bit confused, but don't worry. You will understand everything perfectly. Just be focused and work with me. This question is very simple. It's just testing your ability to think. Remember, we have our 10 and our 3 to give us what? Our b, right? Then multiplication of it will give us what? 30. Now let's substitute 10 and 3 into this equation. Remember, when we are substituting 10 and 3, we are going to have 10xy, 3xy, right? So that's what we are going to put in the equation. So we are going to have 6x squared plus 3xy plus 10xy plus 5y squared, right? So at this point, what do? We group. After grouping, what do? We look for a common factor here. And what is the common factor? We have x here, we have 3. So let's take 3x outside. 3x. So if we divide here by 3x, 6x squared divided by 3x. This x, we cancel out this x, it will take away 1x from here. We take away 3, 1, so we'll be left with 2x, right? So we have 2x here. 3x times 2x will give us 6x squared, right? Now let's take away 3x from here. 3xy divided by 3x. X goes, 3 goes. What do we have left? We have y, right? We have y left. Now we have 5y here. We have 5y can go in both ends. So let's do plus 5y. So let's put 5y outside. Let's do a rough work in there. 10xy divided by 5y. Y cancel y. 5 goes there 1. 5 goes there 2. We have 2x, right? So let's put our 2x. So we have 5y squared divided by 5y. Y goes there 1. This y we take away 1y. So we have 1y left. Then 5 goes there 1. 5 goes there 1. So we are left with what? Y. So when we check what we have here and what we have here is the same, right? At this point in time, what do? We bring out everything outside the what? Everything outside the bracket. We have 3x plus 5y. We group them together and we pick one, 2x plus y. So we do 2x plus y. So this is the answer to our question. So this question, 6x squared plus 13xy plus 5y squared will give us what? Will give us 3x plus 5y in brackets 2x plus y. So this is the answer to our question. And we can check if what we've done is right. I'm sure most of you will say, yes, let's check. Let us check. We want to be sure. Now let's open this bracket. Check. Let's open this bracket. 3x times 2x is going to give us 6x squared, right? 6x squared. 3x times y is going to give us 3xy. Is that understood? Now 5y times 2x is going to give us plus 10xy, right? 5y times y is going to give us 5y squared. Now we have our 6x squared plus 3xy plus 10xy is going to give us what? Plus 13xy plus 5y squared. Plus what? 5y squared. So when we check what we have here and the question we factorize, we see that it's the same thing. So that shows we got the factorization correctly. We did what? We got our answer correctly. Now let's look at another example. Let's look at this last example. I know we've had a long day But let's quickly look at this example. This can come out in our exam, and when it comes out, we should be able to tackle it. Factorize 12 x raised to the power of 3 plus 14 x squared plus 4x. The question is factorize 12 x raised to the power of 3 plus 14 x raised to the power of 2 plus 4x. How do you solve that? How do you solve that? Solution. When you look through this question, just like what we have when we solve the question when the coefficient of x squared, which is a, equals to 1. Remember how we solve it? Yeah, the same formula is what we are going to apply here. When you look through, what can you see as a common factor? The common factor here is what? 2x. 2x. So if we have 2x, let's divide through by 2x. Now, if we divide here, x goes here. You know, this is to the power of 3. It will reduce it to power of 2, right? So 2 goes here, 1. 2 goes here, what? 6. So we are going to have 6x squared. S goes here, 1. S goes in x squared. It's going to reduce it to what? To 1. Because we are going to take away 1 from the 2. So s goes here 1, s goes here, is left with x. So 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here what? 7. We are going to have 7x, right? We have plus 7x. Is that understood? Now x cancel x. 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here what? 2. We are left with what? With 2. So this is like quadratic equation. Is that clear? So we are back to our quadratic equation, and guess what? The coefficient of x squared is more than what? 1. So we are going to do our AC. If we do our AC, what do we have? Our AC is what? 12. 12, right? So the question is, what are the two values that when we add is going to give us 7, and when we multiply is going to give us what? 12. For us to know what the two values are, we have to divide our AC. Our AC is what? 12. 2 goes here, 6. 2 goes here, 3. 3 goes here, 1. 2 times 2, 4 times 3 will give us what? 12, which is our AC. But for our B, we need what? We need two values that will give us 7. So we have 4, 2 times 2, 4, and we have 3 plus 3. 4 plus 3 will give us what? 7. We are looking for plus 7. So we are not adding any sign to this. We are not manipulating this value. So it's plus 4 plus 3 that will give us what? 7. And when we do 4 times 3, is going to give us what? 12, which is our AC. Are we clear with that? Let's clear the board and continue with our equation. So now we have our 2x, we have our 3, we have our 4. So we use it to substitute the value here. So we have 6x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 2, everything in bracket, right? So what do? We group. If we do the grouping, we ask ourselves, what's the common factor here? The common factor is what? Is 2x. 2x. If we take away 2x from 6x squared, what do we have left? We have 3x plus what? Plus 2. 2 times 2x will give us 4x. Are you with me? Remember, we still have our 2x outside, right? Then what is a common factor here? It's just 1. Is what? 1 plus 1. So if we have 3x plus 1 times 3x will give us 3x plus 2. So plus 1 times 3x will give me 3x plus 1 times plus 2 will give me plus 2. So what do I do from here? I bring out the values outside the brackets. The values outside the brackets are what? 2x plus 1, right? Then when we check this bracket, we see they have the same value. So I just bring out 1. You understand? Then my 2x is still what? Outside. So this will be the solution to the factorization question that we have up here. This is the solution to that question. 2x brackets, what we have here. And when we expand everything we have here, we will get what? Our question that we factorize. So let's quickly check and see what we are going to get. Let's check and see what we are going to get. Check. 2x times 3x is giving me x squared, right? 2x times plus 2 is giving me plus 4x, right? 1 times 3x is giving me what? Plus 3x, right? 1 times plus 2 is giving me what? Plus 2. Remember, I still have what? I still have my 2x. I have my 2x. So let's complete what is inside the bracket. 6x squared plus 4x plus 3x is going to give me plus 7x plus 2, right? So let's multiply everything here with 2x. 2x times 6x squared is going to give me what? 12x raised to power 3 plus 7x times 2x is going to give me 14x raised to power 2. Then plus 2 times 2x is going to give me plus 4x. When we look at this, when we look at the result of our expansion, let's check, is it the same thing as what we have here? Here we have 12x raised to power of 3. That's what we have here. 14x raised to power of 2. That is what we have here. 4x. That is what we have here. So our factorization is correct. Is what? Is correct. This our factorization is correct. So that will be all for factorizing or factorization when the coefficient of x squared is greater than 1, or when our a is greater than 1. So we've laid the foundation for that aspect of factorization. All you need to do is go back to your textbook, past question, and begin to practice. Do you understand? Begin to practice, and I'm sure by now you have what it takes to solve any of this factorization method. Thank you for staying to the end. It's really nice having you. Thank you. See you in the next class shortly. Bye.